We're now with Jason Shrive. Jason, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Andrea. I appreciate it.
And Jason is a candidate on the Democratic ticket on the 4-year seat for the Scranton School District. And as I've said before, normally at this point I would do a brief bio of the candidate, but because we now have an online voter guide at lwvlackawanna.org through vote411.org, we're going to point you over to our website for the candidate's bio and for answers to a couple of additional questions. So Jason, we're going to get right into the questions for you today.
Great.
And the first one is, can you describe for everyone what are the duties of the office that you're running for?
The duties of the office of Scranton School Director and any school director of a public school district is mainly a policy-making function. The school director sits on a board in Scranton. It's a 9-member board, and your function is mainly legislative, which means you enact law for the school district. You enact the policy that governs the students, the employees, and the taxing situation in the district. You levy taxes that then are imposed upon the Scranton residents. It's not a micromanaging position, and sometimes I think it's used that way. School boards hire executives. They hire superintendents, they hire directors of different departments, and they do so because those people will be the full-time, on-the-ground, hands-on people that report to the board, and then the board tasks them with running the district day to day. I do think there needs to be oversight of these administrators and making sure that they are doing their duties and the district is running fine-tuned as possible, but I do not believe that it's a function of a school director to micromanage. Be on top of everything, get involved in everything, have information and have your pulse on all the issues that the district has going on, but leave the administrating to the administrators while still checking on them.
Okay. What qualifies you for this office? And we're looking for any relevant experience that you have, whether it's personal, professional. What separates you, distinguishes you from the candidates, from your opponents?
I believe first and foremost that my training, my profession is I'm an attorney. I have experience through the legal profession in not only arguing but listening. You need to listen to both sides of every situation and go in with an open mind to try and hash out the best possible scenario for all interested parties. I think that first and foremost helps me to be a good fit for the Scranton School Board. I also think that my experience on boards in the past has helped me to prepare for this position. I served as the president of the Condominium Association in Florida, where I lived when I went to law school. I was the president of the Lackawanna County Young Democrats for a period of time. I'm on the board of the Young Lawyers Division of the Lackawanna Bar Association. So I do have experience in boards of different organizations where it is a policy-making function that you review issues, you deal with employees, and you handle things on a daily basis to administer different organizations. I believe those experiences and my profession help me to be qualified for this position and to hit the ground running day one as a school director.
Okay, great. What challenges does our district face in meeting adequate yearly progress levels as set by the federal No Child Left Behind laws? And what actions should or could even the school board take to address the problems?
The district faces a great deal of challenges right now in the current economic climate of our state and our country. As many of the viewers, and as I'm sure you're well aware, Andrea, the governor has slashed the budget for education funding in public schools in the Commonwealth, while still requiring high standards for education in our public schools, which is very important. I am a public school graduate. I got a tremendous education, I believe, in the Scranton public school system, and I want to see that continue because when I have children someday, I want them to go through the public schools and receive as good or better an education than I've received. Right now, with the loss of funding and the potential further loss of funding in the future, the district needs to really focus in on looking at programs that they're doing right now, what works, what doesn't work. Things that aren't working need to be cut. Things that are working need to be kept. Employees need to be treated respectfully while looking at these budgetary concerns, and everybody needs to be considered, the students, the taxpayers, and the employees of the district. You need to be able to provide this quality education while we're having this difficult economic time. You can't sacrifice the education based on the funding. There is money in different areas. You just have to make the tough decisions and be willing to make the tough decisions. Look into the different areas that the district is expending large amounts of money and make sure that that money is being well spent. And if it's not, cut it to put it better towards education.
Okay, thank you. Explain the impact of charter schools on the district. Do they provide benefits to the students that the school district can't?
Charter schools, as some people may be aware, are becoming more popular right now, and it is an alternative basically to public education and private education. It's a quasi-public-private situation where a group of educators and business people form a company basically to privately educate students outside of the bounds of the school district in the public situation. It does impact the district because the district will be on the hook for some of the financial responsibility of these charter schools, and that will take away from the already dwindling pie of money that the district is going to have to educate their in-house public school students. At this point right now, I can't really say that I'm in favor of anything that's going to take any money further away from the public school system. I would need to learn more about the proposed charter schools in the area. I know that there's one on the horizon right now, and I'd have to sit down with those people and listen to their views and their proposals for what they'd be doing to better form a decision on whether I would support it or not. But right now I can't see supporting anything that would further diminish the money that the school district will have to educate the youth of the city.
Okay. What opportunities for improvement do you see are needed in the district, and what is your plan or approach to address them?
There are several things that I think the Scranton School District does extremely well. As I said before, I believe I received, and my wife is a graduate of the public school system, the two of us received a great public education. It could always be better. I think there's some areas that can be improved as far as research and writing skills in the high school level. And this is not to fault any English or reading or writing teacher. I think they're doing their job to the best of their ability in the time constraints that they have. I think we need enhanced reading and writing skills courses offered at the high school level because college and graduate school is all reading and writing. To prepare students to adequately fight to achieve high standards in higher education, they need to be able to read, analyze, and write. And I think that if we could provide some extra areas, maybe elective courses, maybe emphasized areas in high school English courses for research and writing, that would better prepare our students for the secondary levels after high school. I also believe that we need to, as I said before, look at everything we're spending money on right now. Go through the budget line by line and see, what is wasteful, what is not. We can't really afford any wasteful spending right now when we have such a difficult budget facing us from the governor. Any contracts that we see that we're wasting money on, I think should be republicized and put out for bid again. There's definitely ways to save money, and it cannot all be done on the backs of employees. There has to be some kind of happy medium where everyone involved is taken care of and considered while not wasting money.
Okay. Jason, do you think that school board meetings should be held in a larger room to better accommodate the people who attend them? Why or why not?
This one is a simple answer for me. I think yes. I started running for the school board pretty soon before the start of the primary season. I had been attending meetings probably the last year or so, and right now the meetings are held in the district administration building for the most part, and it's a small room. It's smaller than this room that we're in today. You can maybe fit about 30 some people in the room, and sometimes you have overflow into the hallway. I think a good idea is at least having some of the monthly meetings at one of the two public high schools or the elementary schools. That way people that might not be able to get downtown for a meeting can still have an opportunity to go to their local elementary or their local middle or high school and see the government that works for them in action. And if it's a big issue that's going on in the school district, you may have a great amount of interest in it that really can't be held in the administration building. So I would be in favor of moving the meetings around at least once in a while to accommodate the public at large.
Okay. The last question that I have for you is really kind of a structure question. So do you think that the residents of Scranton would be better served or served equally well by a school board that's composed of some members that are elected to represent the school district at large, and then other members who are elected to represent regions of the city overall. And the reason that we ask that question is because school boards that use this type of a mixed election system tends to have a greater diversity. So we're just kind of looking for, what's your opinion on that?
I would have to say I favor the citywide at-large positions that we have right now. And the reason I say that is when you have the district elections where maybe someone would be elected to represent West Scranton, where I'm from, I believe then you have someone that is fighting and really working for that section of town only. The school district is a citywide environment. The employees work for the school district as a whole. The students need to have high standards of education throughout. I believe that if you fragmented it and said, well, you know, I'm only responsible for West Side and he's only responsible for South Side, that we would be doing a disservice to the students as a whole, the employees, and to the taxpayers, because if you go in there with an agenda to only represent West Scrantonians or only represent Republicans or only represent Democrats, everybody is hurt in the long run. I think you need to go in and be a school board member for all of the people of the city. I am from West Scranton. I am a Democrat, but I plan to be a school board member for the city of Scranton, all of the students, all of the citizens, all of the taxpayers, and all of the employees. And that's why I wouldn't be in favor of a district or fragmented election.
Okay. That concludes all the questions that we have for Jason, but you still have 2 minutes for your closing statement.
Thank you. I'd like to first and foremost thank Andrea and the League of Women Voters for providing this essential service to the voters of Lackawanna County. It is extremely important to be an educated voter. I went to the University of Scranton and my undergraduate major was political science, and I love this stuff. That's why I'm involved. I've always been interested in government. Everybody else doesn't have that same view. Everybody else has many different interests and doesn't have a ton of time. These interviews provide you with the opportunity to be an educated voter, to listen to the candidates that are available and to make a choice based on their platforms and their proposed agendas. So I commend the League of Women Voters for the opportunity to speak here today and for the job that they do for the citizens of Lackawanna County. Next, I'd like to say why I believe I am the best qualified candidate for Scranton School Director. I'm born and raised in the city of Scranton. I'm educated in the public schools. I attended the University of Scranton where I got a degree in political science and a minor in history. I was always active in politics and government from the time I was about 14 or 15, always with the goal of someday coming back to Scranton in whatever profession I chose and running for office to better the city that I believe gave me a great upbringing and helped me to become the person that I am today. The teachers and professionals that work in the Scranton School District are in large part responsible for myself being an educated and successful individual today. I want to continue that history of excellence in education and bring about an even better education for the future generations to come. I pledge to work hard, be open-minded, and be willing to work with anyone that has ideas. I don't plan to go into the district closed-minded or have an agenda or a faction that I'm only going to do what I think that faction wants me to do. I'm going to be there to be a school director for all of the citizens, and I humbly ask for your vote on Election Day, November 8th. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jason. That concludes our interviews with the candidates for the Scranton School Director positions. Just a few notes on this particular race. This is a really important position in the city. We have a school board of 9 members. Every other year, every other municipal election year, we elect 5 and then we elect 4 members of the board. For this particular time, we're electing 5 members for 4-year seats. In addition, we're also electing someone to fill an unexpired 2-year seat from another director that had retired. So basically at this point, we're electing 6 school directors to the school board. The reason that I say this is so critically important, first of all, these folks that are running and who serve on the school board are not paid, so they're really citizen volunteers or elected volunteers, if you will. But also, they have the largest budget of any of the municipal governments that we pay taxes to in the city of Scranton. So the budget is larger than Lackawanna County, it's larger than the city of Scranton. So it's a critically important part of the tax base that we pay. On top of that, when businesses are looking to come into the city, they're looking for into any area, they're looking at the quality of life, and the school district is one of those really important piece of the quality of life of any community when a business is looking, or someone is actually looking to move into the area. So for all of those reasons, it's a critically important race. I would like to say that we were unable to resolve scheduling conflicts with Kathleen McGuigan, Lynn Ruan, Sean O'Shea, who was actually away on military duty, Bill Fox, and Jim Timlin. So unfortunately, you're only going to see interviews with two of the candidates, Jason Shrive and Nathan Barrett. We have asked all of them to complete our online voter guide, so you'll see bio information on all of the candidates who choose to complete it, as well as answers to a couple of questions as well. So you know, just to keep in mind, this is really a very important race. You're going to elect 5 school directors to the 4-year seat, and then 1 director to the 2-year seat. Nathan Barrett and Bill Fox are on the ballot for the 2-year seat, and then Nathan Barrett, Jason Shrive, Maureen McGuigan, or not, I'm sorry, not Maureen, Kathleen McGuigan, Lynn Ruan, Sean O'Shea, Bill Fox, and Jim Timlin are your choices that are on the 4-year seat. So that concludes the information that we have for you today on the Scranton School Director race. Thank you so much.